Testing, testing. One, two, three. Hello and welcome to another video from Keobastein. I hope everyone's doing well. It has been a while, so that I apologize for not having more K-TEINs. Actually, yes, this will be a K-TEIN, telling everything in nuance. So, your fighting game connoisseur has been a bit gone. I know my channel has kind of been just sporadically. Sometimes I'll drop a video, sometimes I won't drop a video. Unfortunately, life things have gotten away, and I haven't been able to be consistent on a few things. But that's why we have this video today. This video will be to give you updates in regards to the channel and my happenings and whatnot. So, without further ado, let's docket the first thing. What is going to happen to this channel? I'm still intrigued. I'm still interested in trying to post things regularly. I may try to diversify this channel maybe a bit more per se. And by diversify, I mean I mostly play fighting games, and I am still your fighting game connoisseur. So don't you worry your head about that. However, I may definitely start playing a bit more of other games, and that may or may not potentially lead into me either doing streaming where I play the game live on stream on the Twitch channel, which is actually where's the Twitch channel? Woo! I suck at planning. Oh well, well that is what it is. So I may have in the description, which will be your Twitch Keobastein. There you go, Keobastein. It should be easy. Just as my YouTube channel is Keobastein, or just as you see my avatar face, Keobastein. If you put that on Twitch, you should probably find my Twitch channel right there as well. I do try to make a habit of whenever I do stream on Twitch, I will grab the archive and then forward it back to the Keobastein YouTube channel. So I will try to keep that maintained, but no promises, unfortunately, because I am still having some technical difficulties and whatnot. I am interested in trying to get maybe a few things set up where I can both stream YouTube, Twitch, maybe even on Facebook at the same time. Maybe, but no promises there on that. But I will leave the idea that I am still looking to develop the channel. So that be the channel update. As far as my life thing, which you're not going to get that much about my life because that's my life. You don't appear into my life. But I've had some life challenges and changes. And right now things are kind of still in the air. I mean, I'm not in a position of being put out of home or anything like that, but there will be some potential changes coming around, and those changes may cause some interference in how I continue to stream and upload. Right now I am very fortunate to have the blessing and luxury to have both the my computer and the modem in the same room, but because we are looking to do some changes, it may become a possibility that I may not have the luxury of having the modem in the same room anymore, which means I won't be able to be wired, and that may cause some hiccups going forward from either my upload output to even me streaming. That is a little further down the line, so that's not going to be something that happens immediately. But yeah, but speaking of the channel, Keobastein YouTube channel, I do have a few more videos uploaded, and some people have seen. Maybe they see me back to playing some of the games I've been playing. So, actually, before I go into that, now that I think about it, let's go into why I'm saying I want to diversify my channel with a few more stuff, or rather, less fighting game focus to some extent. I am again, you're still fighting game community. I am definitely going to focus on fighting game because that is what I do like and love. And I may start doing reviews, but I'm not. But you know, I probably better not say that because I don't know when I may do that. So I would like to do that. I don't know when I may do that, since that will take a lot of time and effort to do either video editing to get footage and get my thoughts and feelings down and whatnot. Again, I would like to do that. I'm not sure if I will do that and whatnot. So maybe best I don't put that out in the air just yet. But going back to what I said about diversifying, I have been experiencing fighting game burnout as of late. I've been I mean, it's what I kind of majority play for the most part, and unfortunately, it's not always a gratifying experience. Um, and if I do have to say what are some of the reasons are, well, if you watch my channel for the last few days, you see that I've been uploading a bit more of Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. And I think as some people know, I am not the most keen about this game. Um, why did I start playing it again? Even though already ranted about the game before. Um, alright. While I am arrogant, prideful, and even confident that I can be a fighting game connoisseur, as far as me being a competitor, that is kind of a different story. I sometimes second guess, well, do I know what I'm talking about? Do I know what I'm dealing with? Do I even know what it means to play and compete in the game? Um, like, for example, I understand that these are fighting games. I understand the concept of turns, okizeme, and archetypes and whatnot. I understand of learning move data, like things like proration, damage scaling, combos, limitation combos, and all that stuff. However, if you talk to me about shimmying, I'm aware of it. I am not good at it. If you talk to me about fuzzing guard, I'm aware it exists. I wouldn't be able to compartmentalize that, or better yet, I'm not even really good at fuzzing guarding and whatnot. So, I guess in this grand scheme of things, I am at best an adept to maybe competent player, but I don't think I'm an advanced or a proficient level. Regrettably, I don't think I'm at that level. And because I'm not at that level, there are times where when I am finding myself frustrated with the game, I'm wondering is because how much of it is my bad habits, or I don't know how much of it is a skill issue, and how much, okay, this is what I just think about the game, I just don't enjoy it. So a lot of times I will, come back to a game here or there after some game sessions and whatnot and everything, thinking, oh, maybe I just had a bad day, maybe I just had a bad moment, maybe I accidentally plateaued and I just got to now work on the things I don't want to work on, which that is another element. Which, why is my line cable out? I understand that. Anyways, yes. So, like Grand Blue vs. Rising. Now, like I said, I'm personally not a big fan of the game. If I need to articulate why I'm not a fan of the game, I think I can go ahead and far do that right here. For starters, this is an 8-button fighting game. I don't care what anybody else tells me. This is an 8-button fighting game. While you can technically start playing with just 4 buttons to start competing, because this is a game that requires precision/speed, it becomes an 8-button fighting game, which means you do need the special button inputs to actually use the easy inputs. You do need the guard button if you want to use dodge and roll, which is a dodge and roll. You will need the dash button if you want to do instant dash attacks, so you can basically whip punish or cover your approaches and whatnot. Doing it manually is not really ideal, so that's another button I need and whatnot. And I don't know what I'm getting that message for. I'm not sure why my line cable is not working. Criminy. So those other 3 buttons just mentioned, on top of the fact that this is there's a grab macro, and while technically I do grabs manually, and this game does have a 1 button for tech grabs, you still need that grab button if you want to do reversal supers. And in my last game session, there were too many times where I did ultimate skills when I was trying to get a reversal super, and that's because I was trying to use the easy input, and I still failed because I was doing the easy input with the button command, and it was buffering to ultimate skills. And now since you're talking about buffering, we're gonna go into the next thing I dislike about Grand Blue Versus. Grand Blue Versus is not lenient on your ability to hit a button, recognize a button, it connects, and then do a command afterwards. You have to do things immediately. And I play on a character like Henri, who does a lot of pokes and whatnot. So a lot of time I'm doing my pokes, when I'm doing his pokes, not only do I have to do the pokes, I have to input the next thing I want to do immediately afterwards. This is a technique called buffering and whatnot. It is kind of something present in several games, but it's not as hard because certain games allow you enough time to not have to press the input immediately, like basically the after frames of attack. I have enough after frames before I am need to cancel the next thing and whatnot. And one of the reasons I have had that type of delay and thing is because this leads into my stagger pressure game plan, like I like to use staggering and whatnot. Grand Blue, that's not really present. You need to immediately commit to the things you're doing immediately. You're not allowed to wait and buffer. No, you're not really allowed to wait. You have to basically buffer the next thing you want to do immediately, which puts more pressure on me to basically act immediately, which now goes into the third thing I dislike about Grand Blue. You have to be very fast in this game, not only by the things I mentioned, such as the buffering, storing inputs, and whatnot. This is also a freaking fast game. This is a game that wants you to be fast with all your action. Fast to anti-air, fast to react and punish and whatnot. And for me, as a person who likes to play a little bit slower, this game does not reward our playstyle. I'm actually even playing the character Henri, who is meant to be a slow, lame, and methodic characters, and a lot of times I am losing, which I've even heard from people, hey, you're being way too passive. You're being way too passive. You need to be more aggressive. You need to be more aggressive and whatnot. This is uncomfortable for me. This is not fun to do. I don't like to just do stuff just to do stuff. That's just me. That's leading into autopiloting habits. It makes me uncomfortable. It tenses my muscle because basically I need to just start doing stuff immediately, which then I start doing stuff just to do stuff instead of actually planning, planning and looking what's going on. Which now we're going to the fifth thing, since I mentioned Henri. I'm not sure if it's the fifth or fourth. I have ADHD. That's another fucking problem. ADHD does not do well when being pressured. It's what I have to do with that work and other stuff in my life. Anyways, I'm granting. I want to play the character Henri. He has defensive tools and mechanics. Or actually, no. He has defensive. He has a defensive. Okay. He has a command parry, a unique parry, and a couple other defensive tools. This is a game that highly punishes you from doing those defensive things by, like, you're going to do it this one time and not again. They really want you to push forward and push the advantage. I was even told when I got the advantage and then wanted to back off to pace myself, I was told that was the wrong way. That was the wrong thing to do. I have to keep pushing my advantage. And the reason I back away, because there are other games where, okay, respect my opponent, or I wanted to play neutral again because I don't want to try to overextend myself. But apparently that is what I was supposed to do. Keep pushing, keep going further. Don't worry about overextending, because if you actually get hit by a DP or reversal, it's like, oh well, whatever. It matters. It's just keep having the advantage, keep going forward, which reflects another game that I freaking dislike, Guilty Gear Strive. Keep pushing, keep going forward. I didn't want to play Guilty Gear Strive because I didn't like that, so that's why I stayed away from that. And I thought Grand Blue Versus was a game that was not like that. Come to find out, it's exactly like that, and I fucking hate it. Sorry, I cursed, so I hate it. The sixth thing, if I even know what number I'm on right now, regardless, micromanaging. Now, I already did mention, this could technically go into why I had to play an 8-button fighting game, and I already dislike that. And hey, why do I hate the fact that I got to play an 8-button fighting game? Micromanaging. I am not a fan when I need to try to memorize so many things. When I need to memorize a whole lot of things, that makes it very difficult for me to keep a stable mental state, stay focused, because now I am trying to recall or remember so many things. And the fact and micromanaging, as in multiple resources, adds into that. Grab reversals for micromanage my super meter, micromanage your commands, micromanage your BP meter, also micromanage all the different attacks that comes in with a freaking fighting game. That is overwhelming. That is really overwhelming for me, to the point where it really makes me uncomfortable. It drives me off the wall. It makes me want to just break stuff, which I've already broken stuff. So, yeah. I did try to get used to it. As you can see, the timer on my computer, on my screen, it says 158 hours, if I'm reading that correctly. 156 hours. So, I have put the time into this game. I put the time into the game. Now, putting time technically doesn't mean squat shit, and so, fair enough. Just saying you put time into it doesn't exactly tell the whole story. You know, why don't we boot up the game, and I'll show you my statistics, and then you can kind of get an idea of, what was, my player level, I guess, if anything, and whatnot. Back to the point. I'm micromanaging the BP points, which is important because that's access to my guard council as well as to extend certain combos and pokes, which is something that's definitely viable for Henri because, well, Henri doesn't have a reversal DP. He has counters. Although, fortunately, for me to use the flexible, reliable version of his counter, that requires me to use the ES version, which then puts the move on cooldown, which means I need to wait a certain amount of time before I could use the move again, which that type of micromanagement, I'm okay if I was doing an ES move, such as if I don't have the meat, like in Street Fighter ES move. Grand Blue's ES move is not like other fighting game ES move, where hey, to use ES move, you need to use meter to do so. The thing that's different is this has a meter, but it's on a cooldown, as opposed to like let's say Street Fighter, like let's say Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6 have ES move, or they want to call them OD moves. I can do the same. I could let's say 800. I play 800. I could do OD headbutt, and if I still got overdrive meter, okay, I can do another OD headbutt, and I have still more overdrive. I can do it again. I'm not. Oh, I did the headbutt. Now I have to wait for the move to come back from cooldown. No, it's like I can keep doing it as long as I have meter. I'm used to dealing with rules of that nature, where a game demands an extra resource management on for you to use a certain move. I'm fine and okay with that. This one has a resource method that's based off moves being on the cooldown. And it doesn't just stop at, hey, this move is on cooldown, so you can't use the ES version. I can't use the move at all. So, basically, like, Henri's command parry, there's an ES version of that. The reason that one's reliable, because that's a one frame parry, which means if there's any gap in my opponent's pressure, then I can use the ES parry to parry through that and whatnot. However, that mean now after I use that parry, now I can no longer use that parry again. Sorry, I can't use that parry again after the 7-second cooldown, with the only rule bypassing that if I use the ultimate skill parry, which requires me to have another meter on top of that. Which, again, I am putting way too much thought into. There's way too much to micromanage from the BP points. I recommend the BP point for how Henri needs to use that for combos, but now then there's also, hey, what is my super meter and whatnot? Okay, another thing to micromanage. And then there's the special move cooldown. That is too much micromanaging for my taste in the game. I am just not thrilled about that. Give me a moment. Is it ranking? I want ranking. Fuck it, I'm on ranking, so why don't we do this? All right. So for the sake of brevity and like a grand scheme, I am 2,847 amount of players and whatnot. But hold on. What I really want to do, this is total wins or total wins. Let's go to Henri, because this is the character I focus on. Now, to bring some brevity to the matter, this is now a popular character. So and the reason I want to say this is because there's not a whole lot of Henri players. To be fair, there's not a whole lot of them out there and whatnot. But even then, even with at my skill set, I'm ranked 25. I am ranked 25. All right, we got some of the notable Henri players like Senpai Spider and some of the other people. So I'm ranked 25. I got 198 wins total with Henri and whatnot. Let's see if I can. Wait, this is replay. I don't want to go to replay. So the reason I brought that up is I'm basically ranked 25 currently in this month when it comes to Henri, because that's in a sense my performance with Henri and whatnot. Basically, I'm not going to say I am the better Henri players out there, because I don't know how many are out there, even though they're all scared. But I'm definitely at least in the higher echelon. So even though I said I don't think I'm exactly at a proficient to the even though I said I don't think I'm at the intermediate to the proficient level, I'm competent. In other words, that means I at least have an idea of what I'm doing in the game. Like I at least got some idea of doing. So when I do bring my criticism up, I'm not saying my criticism can't be contested, but I have had people tell me, "Oh, you're just not playing the game long enough. I've already put 156 hours into the game," and as it has been said, If you're not enjoying the game, don't continue to play it. That's definitely what I got to. Oh, well, maybe you're only not having fun with the game because you're not winning. Fair enough. Yes, admittedly, I'm not winning. But if you can see what's on the screen, I have 1,600 matches, 1,651 matches. I think that is enough for me to get a good idea what the game is like and what are my feelings towards the game and whatnot. Before we go strong, where's the other? All right. Yeah, so I got 1,651 wins, and so I got 764 wins. Now that is compared to my total, which that includes me either playing, some of the player matches and whatnot and everything. How many with different characters is a little hard to say. All right, here we go. My total matches, 700 matches. So, all right. For example, I want to bring on Henri. Where is Henri? All right. So, I played 14 matches of total Henri. This basically me playing Henri Mirror. Basically, I am kind of 50-50, which I think some of the other Henris I lost to was maybe bad connection, because I have come up with bad connections and whatnot. Either. But where am I going? All right, let's look at my spread. So, besides Matera, who I lost badly, which apparently is supposed to be Henri's better matchup, that is what I'm told. I sometimes second guess that. I sometimes second guess that. Could they say that's Henri's better matchup? But in the grand scheme, like I said, you see how everything's kind of flipped. There's not really any one-sided outside of the Matera, which is, yeah, I'm only running 3 matches after fighting against Matera. More or less fair enough. Lu Wang, also fair enough and whatnot. But the point I'm trying to get to here, I am kind of going on a tangent. The point I really want to get here is I have spent enough time in this game to kind of, I think, get my feelings together. And my feeling is I don't like this game. It makes me play a way that I am not comfortable with. Now, I am very much in the opinion of, yes, not even, I have not reached my peak performance. But to get my peak performance in this game will require me to do things I am just no longer enjoying, I do not find gratifying, and the experience of playing the game just fucking infuriates me. So, like I said, one thing, the micromanaging. I am not a fan of the micromanaging as a person. I'm not a fan that this is an 8-button fighting game. Fighting game. Anybody who knows my channel knows I said I really have very low patience when the game demands me to play a lot of buttons. I am personally comfortable, so I prefer 4 buttons. I can work with 5 buttons. 6 buttons gets me uncomfortable. Any more than that, and I'm like, I don't really want to bother playing the game at all. Which is some of my criticism with some of the arena fighters. Because a lot of arena fighters want to use almost every freaking button, and I am not a fan of it. I am not a fan of it. So, that's Grand Blue. So, we can get off Grand Blue now. Let's get off Grand Blue. Alright. And then at Emberth, I now can safely say my character crisis has maybe somewhat come to an end, maybe. I've not still played enough of Under Night Emberth, regrettably, but I think that might change now, because now I did Under Night Emberth on the PC, and it does seem like the game is bigger on the PC platform. That's good. But, yeah, Enkidu, no, I'm dropping Enkidu. While I do like the fact that he has counters and everything, it is... Everything else, I don't really care for him that much. Havoc is kind of nice and cool as a mechanic. It's not a mechanic that I think I want to really work my game plan around. It doesn't seem quite intuitive. So, I am dropping Enkidu. I am now looking at the character Kaguya. She has range. She seems to have a pretty decent neutral. Her combos don't seem too hard. So, I might play with Kaguya. And if Kaguya does fail, I'm just going to run right back to Yuzuriha. I mean, I still have Yuzuriha. I still got the muscle memory from her. And Yuzuriha, I think she's kind of an easy character. I am not comfortable with her stance mechanic. I mean, never saying not comfortable. I have difficulty maximizing the stance mechanic is what I want to say. I have difficulty maximizing the stance mechanic. Stance mechanic. That's one reason why I have a habit of double tapping. Like, I can do the stance, cancel, and a couple of the other tricks behind it. But one of the problem is, usually it's also a character who wants to hoard on to Vorpal. And when I do gain Vorpal, cool. Problem is when I do my double tap button to manage usually a stance, that accidentally uses chain shift. That uses chain shift, which means I lose Vorpal. So there are way too many times where I am struggling to manage the stance and chain shift and not activate it prematurely. That's what made me want to get away from user rehab because I was activating chain shift prematurely. Granted, I also saw another top player and I saw they were being zippy all around with her, and I was like, ugh, maybe I don't want to try it because I don't like high octane action, if that makes sense. Even though I just said Kaguya does have some mobility tools, she's not I'm flying all around trying to do so. There may be times when she needs to do it, but when it's not all the time, that's fine. Which is why I don't try to play games like Marvel vs. Capcom and whatnot. And speaking of Marvel vs. Capcom, Skullgirl versus games. I am not a fan of the high octane action that's present in Skullgirl. Skullgirl is already a 6-button fighting game, so that already makes it difficult. And then we want to talk about combo routing. I mean, I want to play Painwheel. If I'm not playing Painwheel, I do not care to play Skullgirls. Same thing with Henri. Like, I could have. Like, I know some people say, well, hey, why not you change playing Henri if Henri is such a unpleasant experience? It's because I like Henri. If I'm not playing Henri and Grand Blue versus, then I kind of don't care. I did maybe thought Ving was kind of cool and everything. I mean, he's kind of cool, but I just wasn't exactly in love with him per se. I love Henri. If I can't play Henri, then I don't care to play Grand Blue versus. I don't have that issue with Underline Inbirth because I think all the characters are cool. I like Underline Inbirth, the game as it is. It is cool. It's just me finding out who do I want to compete with, and that has been the challenge. So yeah, but that's why I had a character crisis because there were a lot of characters I was looking at, and I have a hard time trying to break it all down. Like Enkidu, it's not Enkidu. Like there's Wallstein. Wallstein's a slow character, but what put me from Wallstein was I need to learn a lot of different Oki, and basically it was the same thing of, well, you need to learn all your different way to push your offense after you get a knockdown. I am not a fan of trying to do a lot of setups. I mean, I can do it every now and then, but I like it when it's either rudimentary to not at all. This is why I play my neutral to zoner characters, because normally they don't do that after a knockdown. They're just, all right, we're going back to playing neutral because this is where we're comfortable. I'm okay with personally retreating, and right now Kaguya looks like she's a character that's okay with retreating. May not be ideal for a few matchups, but it looks like, okay, I got my damage in, I'm cool, let me retreat. She's also not a character who's all about trying to do mid-self. She's either going to do a strike or she's going to do a throw. And I am personally fine with that. So that's why I want to try to re-explore Under the Ember. Now that I think I got a character a character that I feel inclined to grind out and learn. Skullgirls, so my bad, we did go into a tangent. Skullgirls. I do love Painwheel. I got good portion of Painwheel combo. Let me say portion. I at least got her combos down to some muscle memory. But that was definitely due to years and upon years of playing this character. But I don't want to. But since this is a team game, this means I need to do that for technically 2 other characters. Because Painwheel is not a character you really want to run points. It's possible. It's not ideal. And perfect for me. Yeah, it definitely wasn't ideal to do so. So she definitely needed a partner. And the other character I did actually find out liking, Black Dahlia. And her combos are not even that hard either. Probably Black Dahlia. She's almost similar to Painwheel, where she is, hey, I need meter, so don't put me in front, technically. I was going to say don't put me in front. It's not ideal for her to be in the front. So now I have 2 characters who are technically backline fighters. So now, alright, I gotta find a point character. Alright, who do I want as a point character though? And well, right now, I was leaning towards a few characters. There was Fukuoka. There was Maria, who just came up. I still haven't really tapped into her yet. And then there was also Big Ban. And I started really thinking, all right, you know what? Big Ban, I think I'm really kind of feeling Big Ban. He has parry. He's defensive-minded. He's bid damage. But he's not good at building meter. But I still wanted to try to make Big Ban work. So I started training with Big Ban, and I was finding it miserable to do his combos. It was really miserable. I really hated his. I'm not a fan of his combo route. It's not very comfortable. It's not very intuitive. But then at the same time, that's also because each of the characters I play have various different combo route. And the fact that I'm playing them all together, I'm not back to my issue of micromanaging. And I'm just like. And unfortunately, that's the problem with the other game we're going to be King of Fighters. I mean, I've already had two characters who I really like, but Elizabeth and Rugal. But I had a hard time finding a third character because I didn't really know who I want. But then at the same time, there was also the issue of like this is a 4 button fighting game, so I don't have the issue of 4 buttons. It's not as kinetic or fast paced as Scourgles or Unlight Embers or Grand Blue. So that's kind of nice. But each character's moves and buttons have very specific functions, which goes right back to the highly specified micromanagement. And it put me in a bit of a funk because it's like, damn it, I'm just want to kind of just be able to focus because with my ADHD, it's difficult for me to focus on things. So I don't want to have to changing and remembering because there are times where okay I just died with Rugal and now I'm playing Elizabeth, but then I'm doing inputs and commands like Rugal because that's what my body is used to. It's not good at adapting to changes and whatnot. This is why I'm a more of a specialist character, unlike people who like play multi characters, like people who like rotate between characters for either counter pick or just variety. I prefer to be a single character specialist. I play one character for a long period of time to get very comfortable and whatnot. That is what I like. So then, well, hey, then just don't play any. Then hey, I guess probably don't play any specialized games. I'm not specialized game. Oh dear God. Then hey, try to play more games that are just you only play one character. And there is that with Street Fighter. Here upon Street Fighter, 6 button fighting game. I actually made it to a 7 button fighting game because I feel I need to have parry as a dedicated button because of how my button layout is. It is slower, yes. I'm only playing one character, yes. But still a 7 button fighting game, which makes it difficult for me to manage and focus when playing. And I am very much sorry. I am not opposed to a game that requires me to do multiple things, but some of them go so multiple that it is very uncomfortable. And it now sounds like I'm just complaining for the sake of complaining, and it is sound like a skill issue. And you know what? It is a skill issue, but I am playing games to try to have fun. I can't enjoy losing when it's rather my opponent outright just beat me, which technically that is still the case. But I also don't like when I lose because I'm having challenges pacing myself when playing the game and whatnot. Yes, I'm okay with pacing when I first start playing the game. But when it gets to a point of after 150 hours and I'm still having trouble with some of the basics, yeah, I'm not a fan of it. Like I did get Mortal Kombat. I am trying to engage with Mortal Kombat. I know, wow, but I finally did get Mortal Kombat. I at least have 2 to maybe 3 characters I am liking and enjoying, and I have been watching match videos to try to get an idea of what is going on in this game. But this game also has the same issue of technically being a 6 button fighting game, which I'm not the biggest fan of. But it's also not as fast as, let's say, I can't say that. I have not played it. All I have been is just doing training mode and trying to get used to the game's mechanics. Right now, I am playing Tanya. That's the character I'm feeling. I am also interested in Homelander. Homelander is kind of looking like my cup of tea with how he plays. Since he's like a more of a keep away zoner for the most part. He has a flight mode that seems interesting, but I'm also seeing how he's developed before I like dive in because, like I said, I'm very easier playing as a specialist character. And if I actually got to take it back, technically there's still other things to micromanage with Mortal Kombat, the different strings, and that gets very tricky and whatnot, and on top of the cameos and whatnot. But that's why I do like Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat is at least doing some interesting thing with this cameo system from the diversified sense of the cameo and whatnot. But let's step away from Mortal Kombat. Like, this is my game. This is my bread and butter. As you can see, I have 375 hours on this version of the game. There's still the PC version, which I have another 200 hours on. This is my game. This is my bread and butter. This is a game I do like a lot. And I don't think it's that difficult. One, it has strong, good defensive mechanics with the Vanishing Guard system, with the Alpha Counter system and whatnot, and then character supers and whatnot. So there's good, strong defensive mechanic. It is a fighting game that is 5 buttons. Thankfully, one of the buttons is just a roll button, so I'm not pressing that button as often. And combos are not excessively long. Combos are not excessively long and whatnot. While it is an anime air dashing game, it's not zippity all around air dashers, so combos are short. So scratches that perfect line of we're not too combo heavy, but we still got combos. It is a game that can be fast, but it's not too fast. There are 5 buttons, but it's not overwhelming and whatnot. Now, to be fair, I just want to just say, hey, you got roughly 400 hours of the game. You gave it a lot of time to get used to it. And you know what? That might be a fair assessment. That might be a fair assessment. But then there's this game, Blade Strangers. This game, right now I do adore this game and whatnot, and everything. Actually, no. Where's my point? I kind of forgot my point. I am going to be on a tangent, and we have been on. What have I been playing and whatnot? So we have been on a while. So let's go ahead and wrap this up real quickly. Right now, I'm leaning towards to want to play Under the Embers. I want to try to go back and play Melty Blood. I want to try to go and play some more Blade Strangers, play some games like Murder Fight. That is personally my goal, to try to play those type of games. I have still experimented. There's DNF Duel. I tried to re-enter DNF Duel. I don't think I'm going to go back to it because I am not feeling Dungeon Fighter Duels. We actually have some new fighting game announcements, and I could try to spitball that. Hunter x Hunter Net Impact. Kind of interested, but it's still a team-based game, so I'm not crazy about it. They do have, but it does not seem to maybe. Sorry, there's already Wave Dash, which I already dislike. I don't like how you have to use Wave Dash to kind of get around and whatnot. But they already made the game kind of simple, where combos are near chains and whatnot. So routing may not be too difficult in that game. Might is the word. But I need to see how everything else also holds up and everything. So I'm interested to see what you do. I can't say I might stick around for that. Bleach just announced a new arena fighting game. So I am a fan of Bleach. So I am definitely looking forward to see what Bleach tries to do. So there is that. Arcus Chroma has came out, and I think they're about to get an online mode for that game. So I am about to be on that game because I've already been playing that game. Already liked it. I already have a character I know I want to play, which is Murmo. He's like a frog samurai dude. He looks adorable and everything, so I like that. So I definitely may be jumping into that. Punch Planet had a new update, and I want to try to play Punch Planet again, or whatnot. That is a 6-button fighting game that get close to Street Fighter, but I do like how it has I like their parry mechanic better and whatnot, and their routing. I think I might be willing to get used to that. I did grab my hands on Duels of Eden. That did came out like a month ago. I have yet to really play it. I do know who I really want to play, but I'm not sure how well I may play that game. So that is a matter to see. I think I already did brought Multiple Type Lumina. I am going to try to play that game a bit more. We'll see how well that works. I still play Arcana Horrors, another game, Adore and whatnot. I have not played Virtual Fighter. I have not played Virtual Fighter in a while. I'm hoping to maybe try to play Virtual Fighter. But you know what? Let's get our fighting games. Like I said, what are some things I do want to try to play? One, I have not finished Fallen Legion. I want to try to play Fallen Legion. I got my hands on Smashing the Battle Ghost Soul, an action game that looked pretty fun from a distance. Never really got a chance to play it. As you can see, I have about at least an hour into it, but I was still doing the tutorial mode, and I still need to finish the tutorial mode for that game. So there is that. Let's see now. So Fallen Legion, I want to finish Fallen Legion because I have not finished that game. Hopefully I'll get myself to a point where I can start, maybe stream that. If I can't stream it, then I just need to just do a recording session, because that's what I'm basically might have to start doing going forward. Do more recording sessions and whatnot instead of trying to do live streams, unfortunately. There's Phantom Breaker Overdrive. I did thought that maybe I should do a react video, or at least an impression video of Phantom Breaker Overdrive Ultimate. Not Overdrive, they call it Phantom Battleground Ultimate. So they have that version coming out, and for the most part, I am not impressed with what I see. We don't really have new characters. You could just, hey, now you can play with the, monster characters. But are the monster characters actually going to be fully developed characters? Because technically they're just NPCs who you hit. They may have 1 to 3 different attacks, while the main characters you play have 8 different attacks, multiple different attacks, which is that was the draw of Phantom Breaker. You play with these characters who has all these mechanics. If that's not going to be present for the bad guys, then why do I want to play the bad guys per se? In my opinion, yeah, like why want to play these NPC Joe Schmo tidy whitey person? No, I mean that doesn't say anything. They also say, hey, we're going to have 8 people in the battlefield, which already makes a chaotic game even more chaotic. So I'm just like, okay. And they haven't even announced rollback. No, I think they said they're not going to have rollback with this game. Even though this is a brand new game from the ground up, they know the online was not great with last Battleground, and nor did they add it to Phantom Breaker. And now they're doing another version of the game, and that doesn't have rollback. So, far as I'm concerned, Phantom Breaker Battleground Ultimate is nothing to me, unfortunately, because I don't see anything impressive. I mean, granted, and the game just also say, hey, we're going to delay. Maybe that delay means they're going to add more content, but we've seen how they did that with Phantom Breaker Omnia, so I'm not holding my breath, if you ask me, and whatnot. But I think I kind of went on long enough and whatnot. So I'd say we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you and have a good day.